בנקיק נסתר בצוקים, איילה שותה מים, מה לי ולה אל הצוקי ליבי, אל המעיין חיי, אל הנסתר. איילה מה לי ולה, מה לי ולה, מה לי ולה.
Boker Tov, everyone. We had a challenge, a 1 second challenge with our live stream, and here it is again. So we will share it and we will begin our Shacharit Shel Shabbat. Here we are. Boker Tov, everyone. Boker Tov, Gabi. Boker Tov, Zach. Boker Tov, Noga. with some more energy. Same words, a little bit more energy. Thanks to you, ever-living sower, that you have restored to me my soul. How great is your trust. As we enter this virtual sanctuary, and I see that our Facebook is not working, or at least my Facebook is not working, so we will ask Zach to post that. This is working now. Our Facebook is working. Oh, fantastic. My Facebook is not working, but our Facebook is working. And you know what? This is actually a great introduction to our Torah portion. To the Torah portion, the Bamidbar. What's going on with me this morning? Bamidbar, the first Torah portion of the book of Numbers, which is called in Hebrew, Bamidbar, in which we think about our own beings and our communal beings and our even people being, our collective being, almost in the context of being after receiving Torah, and we today being almost in the context of Shabbat, because tomorrow, what happens tomorrow? What happens? Does anyone know? I ask on Facebook. I see all kind of friends on Facebook already writing things. I see Mark Silverstein and I see Laila. They are our Gabaim, our religious practices people. We have online Gabaim. What a gift. So what happens tomorrow? We have almost a new moon. The month of Iyar is about to come to an end. And what month is going to start?
Sivan.
You're right. You're right. So let's say acknowledge each other's presence and let's celebrate our coming into our sanctuary, our communal space and place, with the words of Matobu. How wonderful are our communities, our structures. We are on page 192.
Bye.
And after recognizing our communal space, this space that we create together and surrounds all of us, we take a moment to acknowledge our personal space, our bodies. I invite you to turn your Sidurim, if you have a Sidur, to page 194, and other words to hear Noga reading on page 195.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life. Were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch ata Adonai, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות.
Page 196. The blessing for our souls. Elohim, neshama שנתת בי, טהורה היא. אלוהי, נשמה שנתת בי, טהורה היא. אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי, ואתה עתיד לתלה ממני ולהחזירי מלעתיד לבוא. כל הזמן שנשמה בקרבי מודה אני לפניך. כל הזמן שנשמה בקרבי מודה אני לפניך. The soul you have given to me is pure. Elohim, neshama שנתת בי, טהורה היא. Praise are you, Adonai, in whose hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. ברוך אתה אדוני אשר בידו נפש כל חי ורוח כל בשר איש. Now we turn our Sidurim to page 198 for the blessings for the daily miracles, or Birkot HaShachar. And as we say the words of our tradition, we'd like to invite you to think about your daily miracles, those things that make your routine possible.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, מלביש עלומים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, הנותן ליעף כוח. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, המביא שינה מעיני ודמומה מעפעפיי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, who has created all human beings equal, שעשני בצלם אלוהים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, who has given me free will, who made me free. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשני ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוזר ישראל בגבורה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, עוטר ישראל בתפארה. On page 204, the blessing for the study of Torah. And the reason we have the blessing of the study for the study of Torah right at the beginning of our morning prayer is because every day we want to take a piece of Torah. Even if we don't study the entire Torah every day, which is quite impossible, we want to at least have a reminder of our commitment to study Torah, to keep engaging on asking questions about our lives, on asking questions about how we want to live our lives, and what are the values that we appeal to, that we use when we drive our lives. And so we say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with the mitzvot, with the commandments, commanding us to engage with the words of Torah. Adonai, our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of all your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, המלמד Torah לעמו Israel. And here we have a short portion for communal Torah study. We're on page 206. Nola, would you like to read in English? אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור שאדם אוכל פלא תהייהם בעולם הזה, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא.
These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's mother and father, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
I want just to take a moment to welcome those that are joining us and to say Shabbat Shalom to all of you, and to thank all those that are writing on the comments, Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. It's great to see that you are joining us, that you are participating, and you are davening with us. There's something when you walk into the synagogue, at whatever stage you walk into a synagogue, we see you, right? And we make eye contact and we acknowledge your presence. And we cannot replace that, but we can aspire to have some proximity to that feeling of recognizing each other's presence. And that's why I try to see who's joining on Facebook or YouTube most of the time, because I want to know that you are here, and I want you to know that we are trying to see you and to acknowledge you. So Shabbat Shalom. We look forward to hearing and to seeing your comments. And now we will turn our Sidurim to page 212 for the blessing for the Psukei, the Simbra, in which we undertake, the section of our service in which we undertake the difficult but most important task of uplifting our souls. And with that, I want to say that no matter how down you feel, or how high you feel, or we have daily this challenge of working with our spirits to grow up. That joy is not something that happens to us, it's something that we pursue. We are on page 212.
Baruch Shabbat, Hayalam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Choseh Bereshit, Baruch Omer Ve'oseh, Baruch Gozer Umekayem, Baruch Merachem al haaretz, Baruch Merachem al habriot, Baruch Mishalem Sachadov Lireav, Baruch Chai La'ad V'kayam Lanetzach, Baruch Podeh U'matzil, Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo.
Songs of praise will extol you and proclaim your sovereignty. For you are the source of life in the universe. One God, the life of the universe. Praise and glorious ruler. Your name is eternal. Baruch me'ulal, Ba'tishbachot. Baruch me'ulal, Ba'tishbachot. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign, who is glorified through songs of praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech me'ulal, Melech me'ulal, Ba'tishbachot. Page 214, Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat.
Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Tov leodot l'Adonai, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבן, עלי היגיון בכינור, צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולעבלת הבור.
Happy are those who dwell in your house. Ashrei Yoshbei Veitecha. And happy are those who find words of praise, even in challenging moments. Happy are those who find words of gratitude. hour, my speed, and see what happens to your heart as you're trying to sing with us. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, and לדוד תרוממך, אלוהי המלך, והברכה שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך, ואליי שמך לעולם ועד.
אדוני מעולל מאוד, בגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור ישבח מעשיך, וגבולותיך יגידו.
בעשוש נורתך יאמרו, בגדולתך יספרנה.
זכר רב טובך יביאו, וצדקתך ירננו.
אנו מרחום אדוני, ערך הבאים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
ידוך אדוני כל מעשיך, בחסידיך יברכוך.
עוד מלכותך יאמרו, גבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני אדם, גבורותיו וכבוד אדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, ומשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל עליך ישברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו.
פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו, לכל אשר יקראו באמת. We say that Adonai is close to all that call him or her, all those that really mean within their hearts.
רצון יואב יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד. תהילת אדוני ידבר פיו, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד.
אנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם, הללויה.
Page 218. כל הנשמה אל אליה, הללויה, הללויה.
כל הנשמה והללויה,
once again, but with slightly different sound. כל הנשמה והללויה, הללויה, הללויה. כל הנשמה והללויה, הללויה, הללויה.
Let the soul of everything alive bless your name, Adonai our God. And the spirit of all flesh glorify and exalt your name forever, O Sovereign. Transcending space and time, you alone are God. We have no sovereign besides you. God of the first and the last, God of all creatures, Master of all generations, who is praised in a multitude of praises. who guides the world with abundant loving kindness, and all creatures with mercy. Adonai neither slumbers nor sleeps. God awakens the sleeping, arouses those who slumber, gives speech to the mute. And God loosens the bonds of captives. God supports the fallen, and strengthens those who are bent over. You alone do we acknowledge.
כל הנשמה בהללויה, הללויה, הללויה. Page 220.
For every mouth will acknowledge you, and every tongue pledge homage to you. Every knee bend in your presence, every upright person shall bow before you. Every heart will revere you, and every inmost thought will sing to your name. And David said, "Let all my bones exclaim, who is like you, Adonai?" As David continued, "Bless Adonai, O my soul, and let my inner being praise your holy name."
Page 222, שוכן הר.
שוכן עד מרום וקדוש שמו, וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני, לישרים נבע תהילה, בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש. ובמקהלות ריבות עמך בית ישראל, ברינה יתפאר שמך מלכנו, בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ. כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אשר שפכה עליו וזמרה, עוז ממשלה נצח גדולה גבורה, תהילה ותפארת קדושה ומלכות, ברכות והודות מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך הוא ברוך שמו.
אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך מלכי העולמים.
יתגדל ויתקדש ברבה, ילמד יברח ילותה וימליך מלכותה, מחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב באמרו אמן. יש מלך מבורך לעולם ולעולם והמיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח, מתפאר ותרומם מתנשא, בהתהדר בהתהלל בהתהלל, שמד קודשה מכל לילה מן כל ברכתה בשירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תעמידם בעלמה באמרו אמן. I invite you to rise physically or in your spirit for Baruch, for the moment in which we acknowledge each other's presence, and we understand that as a community we have the ability, we have the strength to pray together, to embrace our diversity, the variety of our community, and to also unite our beings and our spirits to claim the unity of God. We're on page 226 for Baruch.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. And on page 228. With that light is that we can say, we perceive the energy of that light is that we can say, that we are loved by a deep and everlasting love. We turn our Sidurim to page 230. Guide us in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You choose us. Truly, you drew us near to your great name, that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love. Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love. Baruch ata Adonai, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please join me on page 234 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. We continue in English in the middle of page 236. Adonai said to Moses as follows: Speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all the commandments of Adonai and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes in your lustful urge. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ביציף, באו בחביב, בנורא בדיר בטוב ביפה, הדבר עשה עלינו לעולם בהד אמת. אלוהי עולם מלכנו, צור יעקב מגן, אישנו לדור ודור. הוא קיים, ושמו קיים, בכיסו נחום במלכותו, באמונתו, לעד קיימת, בדבריו חיים, בקיימים, נאמנים ונחמדים, לעד ולעולמי עולמים. From Egypt you redeemed us, freeing from bondage. For that your beloved sang praise, exalting you, your dear ones, offer hymns, songs, praise, blessing, and thanksgiving to your sovereign, the living and enduring God, high and exalted, great and awesome. God ever humbles the proud, raises the lowly, frees the imprisoned, redeems the afflicted, helps the oppressed, answering our people when we cry out. Praise to God Most High, blessed is God and deserving of blessing. In great joy, Moshe, Miriam, and Israel responded with song to you, all of them proclaiming, Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai, who is like you, oh God. Page 240. Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar v'kodesh, mi chamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar v'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh feleh, nora tehilot oseh feleh. שירה חדשה שיפקו גאולים לשמך שפת הים. שירה חדשה שיפקו גאולים לשמך שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו למלכו ועמנו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מזרח ישראל, עובדנו מחי יהודה וישראל. לא עלינו, אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. יאללה 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 יאללה, ברוך אתה אדוני פועל Page 242, Tfilat Amidah. We will pray the first three blessings of Tfilat Amidah together. And after those three blessings, we invite you to take a moment of silence or to follow the words of our Siddur, whatever works for you. But we invite you to stick, to try to pray and to find the words of your heart. And as we do Tfilat Amidah, we turn to Yerushalayim. And a nice thing to think about this week is that we have been praying for more than 2,000 years facing Jerusalem, and this week we celebrated our physical encounter with the city of Jerusalem, that city from where we were exiled, but from which we never really separated. And that's thanks to our prayers. Page 242.
Adonai sefatei tiftach ufi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומשיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה, מחגל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מלחמוך בעל גבורות, ומדמה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. לקדש את שמך בעולם, כשמי שבת נשימתו בשם אלון, ככתוב על יד נשיאך, וקדש את
בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא יבוש לעולם העד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. יתמכו במקומותיך שומרי שבת, בכל היהולת עם מקדשי שביעי כולם, יסבר ביתנו מטובך, ואשמיר רצית אבוא כי בקידשתו. חמדת ימים אותה אותו קראת, זכר לזכר, למעשה למעשה בראשית. חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר 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 למעשה למעשה בראשית. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, ורצה במנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותקלקנו בתורתך, שבנו בטובך ושמחנו בישועתך, ותעל לבנו לעבדך באמת, בנקלנו אדוני אלוהינו, באהבה וברצון, שבת קודשך והניחו בה ישראל, מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. רצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, בתפילתם באהבה תקבל, ותהיה לרצון תמיד, עבודת ישראל עמך, אל קרוב לכל קורב, אל עבדך לחמנו ושופך לנו ותחזירנה עינינו ושובך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר ישכנתו לציון. מודים אנחנו לך שוב אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו לעולם בארץ ולחיינו מגן אישנו אתה ולדור ודור. נודה לך ונשמח תהילתך אחיינו ונלך צהריים ולך מעולם קיווינו לך אתה אדוני, הטוב שלך לך, נאה להודות, שים שלום טובה וברכה, חן בחסד ברחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, עמך, ברכנו יוצרנו כולנו כאחד באור פניך, כי באור פניך נתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, תורת חיים ואהבת חסד, צדקה וברכה, רחמים וחיים בשלום, בטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו בשלום, את עמו ישראל בשלום. יהיו לרצון, אמרי פי, בהגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צולי בגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, אדוני my rock and my redeemer. עושה שלום במרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May the one who makes peace in the highest heavens make peace for all of us, Israel, and all those who inhabit the world, and let us say amen. May be seated. Shabbat Shalom everyone, Shabbat Shalom. I'm noticing that I don't have screen sharing possibilities yet, so I'd like to ask our administrator to allow that. I'll do it in a second. Oh, thank you, that's important. So, do you know, Gabby, we're gonna do this thing of having a conversation. Are you unmuted? Yeah, you're unmuted.
Now I am.
And Noga, we're gonna bring you into the camera. Like Noga excluded herself, and I want to have like some conversation. I cannot do that from here. Noga. Okay, here we are, and now we are being told that we already have the ability to share our screens, which is fantastic. But before we do that, I want to ask you a very simple question. I already gave you the answer this morning, even though I started a bit confused and I mentioned a different book. What's the name of the book that we are starting to read this week? Bamidbar. Gabby's like, I don't know, you confused me this morning. I'm not sure. Bamidbar. Gabby is Bamidbar. It's
Thank you. Yeah.
100% Bamidbar. And how do we call it in
English?
In English?
Numbers?
Numbers. And basically it refers to two different things. One is that this is happening during our time in the desert, and that's the hero name that it received because of the location. The hero name refers to the location, and the English name refers to what?
The people?
Like counting the people.
Crickets everywhere. Other crickets also on Facebook and YouTube. The English name refers to the very first action that we are commanded to do in this book. We are supposed to count the people of Israel.
Oh man, I was right.
There's a census going on right at the beginning of this book. We're in the desert and there is a census. Now, just to give some context, what was our last Torah portion? Be'ar bechukotai. Be'ar bechukotai. And be'ar bechukotai, first, be'ar means
On the mountain.
It's a reference to Sinai, but we weren't Sinai anymore. And then we spoke about Rashi asking, "Ma inyan Shemitah le'ar Sinai?" Why shall we talk about Shemitah and in the context of Har Sinai? Why should we go all the way back to Sinai in order to have this conversation? And Rashi answers, because there are laws that were given to us in Sinai, and when we remind them, we want to make sure that people understand that they are foundational, that they are coming from the very source of our tradition. And then we had Mechukotai, and we have this distinction between blessings and curses, and between this idea of embracing mitzvot and living our lives with mitzvot. And we will be talking about mitzvot at the end on Thursday with Rabbi Einstein. So I encourage you to join us for the Tikkun Leil Shavuot. We will have a beautiful conversation about the nature of mitzvot, or to live a life, and I will say not a life of curses, but a life of lack of mindfulness that ends up being a life of unawareness and a life that could be perceived as a curse. And now we are, after these two ideas, starting a new book, and the new book starts like this. I would like to share this with you, and God knows where I left it. Here we are. Bamidbar. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe b'midbar Sinai. Okay, say in the wilderness of Sinai, באוהל מועד, באחד לחודש השני, בשנה השנית לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור. On the first day of the second month of the second year following the Exodus from the land of Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tent of meeting, in the Ohel Moed. And then he says, שאו את ראש כל עדות בני ישראל למשפחתם, לבית אבותם, למספר שמות, כל שכר לגולגלתם. their heads. Anyway, the word head is easier than Gulgolet, right? Take a census of the whole Israelite community by the clans of its ancestral houses, listing the names, every male, head by head, Gulgolet by Gulgolet. Now, there's another question that we should ask in this context. So, first, why are we counting the people of Israel? And the second question, which is even a bit more challenging, is like, why shall we keep talking about the tribes? Like, okay, I get it. When we went down to Egypt with Jacob, there were 70 people, and there were a bunch of families. So we had the tribe. At the end of his life, Jacob blessed all his children, more or less. There are a few details there, but not for our conversation right now. So we were talking about tribes, but now, like after years in Egypt, and now that all of us crossed together the Red Sea, the Yam Suf? Why shall we keep talking about tribes? So let's see what the rabbis say. So first to the question about why shall we count? Rashi says, do you want to read what Rashi says, Gabi?
Yes. Because of God's great love for God's people, God counts them all the time. God counted them when they left Egypt. God counted them after they fell in the wake of the sin of the golden calf to know the number of the survivors. And God counted them when God came to manifest God's presence within them. On the 1st of Nisan, the sanctuary was erected, and 1 month later, on the 1st of Iyar, God counted them.
So Rashi says, what does he say? Well, business as usual. Like we're in a journey. I remember my parents, like every 2 seconds, every time that we were in a vacation, they will make sure that all of us were there. I remember this motion, right? Like making sure that the 3 of us, I have 2 sisters, were there. And if we had on top of that a friend, or like even more times. And Rashi says, because the children of Israel are dear to God, so every time that we move from here to there, he counts them. And we'll say, Ramban, Nachmanides says, this is reflected in the Hebrew word for count, pakod, which is actually the origin of the English name of the book of Pekodim, the book of Numbers is another name in Hebrew for this book, and that's why it was translated to Numbers. The Hebrew word for count, pakod, which also means to remember and be concerned with. So it's because of God's concern. As a merciful father or mother, God is trying to check on us, to make sure that we are all of them there. That's one possible explanation. We will try to use another explanation later on. Because let's agree that the God of the Bible, a God that can do everything and knows everything, doesn't really need for us to do a census, right? Like the God of the Bible, the idea of God as is presented in this time of the Bible, doesn't really need us to make a census in order to know how many people we are. Now, let's leave it there, and let's ask also why the Torah was given in the desert. And let's see what Noga has to read here.
Why was Torah given in the desert? To teach us that if a person does not surrender himself to it like the desert, he cannot merit the words of Torah, and to teach us that just as the desert is endless, so is the Torah without end.
What do you think you just read?
The Torah is like the desert.
The Torah is like the desert, which basically means that it's endless, or that is something that we need to be constantly exploring, you could say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what else? What else do we know about the desert and surrendering? So I will add, Gabi, do you want to give a try to that?
Well, surrendering to the desert, like to the point where you go insane and you start to see things.
Okay, okay. So there's something about the desert that symbolizes emptiness. Now, it's very interesting that the most fulfilling thing for the Jewish people, the spiritually fulfilling thing for the Jewish people, is given to us in the context of physical emptiness. Spiritually fulfilling physical emptiness. And the reason might be because in order to incorporate to internalize new knowledge and new ideas, we need to achieve some state of emptiness. If we are full with ourselves and with all what we think we know, it's very hard to learn or to acquire anything that is new or anything that is refreshing or to have any kind of curiosity. Can we study Torah without any level of curiosity? Well, probably not. And I will say that because Torah is a lifelong commitment, the study of Torah is a lifelong commitment, I want to challenge ourselves and ask, do we have a space in our lives for curiosity? It seems that we are all the time trying to bring stuff and have more stuff, but we don't have enough emptiness to realize that there are things that we would like to know, we would like to bring. So the challenge of curiosity in the context of the study of Torah. And now, let's talk about the census for a moment, and we will tie all these things together. This is quite puzzling from my perspective, and this comes from the Hasidic masters. A census expresses two paradoxical truths. On the one hand, it implies that each individual is significant. We all count. On the other hand, a head count is the ultimate equalizer. Each member of the community, from the greatest to the lowliest, counts for no less and no more than one. God repeatedly commands Moses to count the Jewish people to emphasize both their individual worth and the fact that not single person's contribution is dispensable, as well as their inherent equality. So, two things: our individual value and our communal value. And this idea that as beings, we all worth the same. Now, we'll get to that in one more second. Now, I want to add one more concept. We spoke about this tribal division. And the second chapter of the book of Numbers and Hebrew, Bamidbar, says in the second verse, Ish al diglo באותות לבית אבותם יחנו בני ישראל מנגד סביב לאוהל מועד יחנו. The Israelites shall come each with his standard, with his flag and banners under the banners of their ancestral house. Again, this tribal division, they shall camp around the tent of meeting at a distance. So each of them will surround the Oel Moed, will take a spot in the Oel Moed, each of them at a distance, but in a tribal division. Again, this diversity, this separation. And then the rabbis will ask, what is the meaning of by the ensigns of their father's house? Gabby, you want to start the reading?
Sure.
When God told Moses.
When God told Moses to organize the Israelite camp, Moses began to feel distressed. He thought, now strife will arise among the tribes, for if I tell the tribe of Judah to camp on the east side of the tabernacle, and he says, I will accept only the south, and the same applies to Reuben and the same to Ephraim and to each of the other tribes, what am I to do? Said God to him, Moses, why should that trouble you? They have no need of you. They know their places full well themselves. They are in possession of a testament left them by Jacob their father, which tells them how to camp under their standards. In the same way that they disposed themselves round his bier when they carried him, so shall they dispose themselves round the tabernacle. I am not going to make any changes.
Okay, so what's happening here?
Well, he's worried that just like our kids, they will all want the same place.
So Moses is preoccupied because Moses is the real person with flesh and blood dealing with all these people. He's preoccupied about how they are going to work out the organization of their locations. And God said, listen, they have it set. They know how to do it. Don't even try, and just let it be the way it was. Now that brings another question. What happened when people want to change their places? What happened when people feel uncomfortable with their place? Now, how often do we feel that we are not in the right place? There is something that is wrong, that we are unsettled, that we haven't found yet the place where we really, really want to be. Isn't that experience that you have had and that you might constantly have? Now, one of the foundations of our society is that you can aspire to be wherever and you can eventually make it. That there's no place that is predefined for you. You have the right, you have the freedom, you have the power to define your place. Now, this conversation basically says, no, you don't. You have a place that was allocated to you in advance, and you stick to that place. And that makes things challenging for our modern understanding. And I want to challenge our modern understanding a bit more. And I want to challenge this understanding with this idea of having enough emptiness, enough midbar, enough wilderness, enough curiosity in order to receive Torah, in order to allow Torah to become a part of our lives. I think that often we find ourselves in a quest to have more, that we don't settle with where we are supposed to be, and we are in a constant struggle trying to find and define our place. And I think that our souls have locations, have places where they are supposed to be. Because we are so busy looking toward the outside, we tend to ignore, or we tend to feel that what we are seeing outside is actually what we want inside. But we don't really define where, or we don't really get to learn about ourselves, what's the right place for us. And I think that this Torah portion invites us to think about what's the emptiness that we need to have in order to allow our souls to receive Torah and to seek for the place, the location that we yearn for so much. I want to add something else about the tribal definition. Now, we are not supposed to, all of us, be on the same place. It's actually important for us to have diversity, to have different places. Now, Jewish tradition, even though we don't have the tribal distinctions that we had once, we still are a tribal people. We shared a class this year that the focus of that class was the Jewish people as a tribal people. But more than that, we need the tribes, we need this diversity in order to allow different expressions of Jewish life. We need our tribes. We speak about Orthodox Jews and their distinctions, about progressive Jews and our distinctions. We talk about secular Jews. We talk about different ethnicities within the Jewish people. When we talk about the North American tribe of the Jewish people, about the Israeli tribe of the Jewish people, about the South American and beautiful tribe of the Jewish people, we need these tribes and we need these distinctions to allow the diversity of our expressions and our strengths. But we also need to know that we are all the children of Israel. We in our community we talk about communities of practice, small communities of practice. We want to have diverse groups that have different topics. Not everybody comes to services. We have a Torah study group that is amazingly active. And that's one of our tribe's activity in our congregation. It's a fantastic one. They have their leader, they have leaders, I would say, more than one leader, and they have their study. And some of those also participate in services, and some of those participate in different activities. And we have book clubs, and we have our Havaya families. We have our ACLC families. I don't want to forget anyone, so I don't want to mention all of them, but we have many tribes. And sometimes we all come together. Each of us has his or her location, and sometimes we all come together. One of the opportunities to come together, I would say, is this Wednesday night as we have our congregational meeting. And I want to encourage all the tribes, all those that belong to TBT, to participate in that congregational meeting, because that's a place in which we, as a people, as a community, renew our covenant. That's our once a year go back to Sinai. And symbolically, it's very close to the holiday of Shavuot. God said to Moses, going back to Numbers 1:1, to the first verse that we explored, the Torah was given to the people of Israel in the ownerless desert. For if it were given in the land of Israel, the residents of the land would say, it is ours. And if it were given in some other place, the residents of that place would say, it is ours. Therefore, it was given in the wilderness, so that anyone who wishes to acquire it might acquire it. And this is the bottom line, that each of us have different places, and the quest is to find a deep connection with our soul, and not to look all the time outside, but to be able to look inside, and to try to be happy. Happy are those who dwell in your house, to try to be joyful in that place that we find to ourselves, and to be also open to change those places when needed, or when that place is wrong to us. But even when our tribal divisions create diversity, we are all equal on our ability to acquire Torah. And therefore, it was given to us in the wilderness. So we all can say that is ours. I want to wish you, as we go into the Holy of Shavuot, I pray that we all dedicate some time to reflect on our place and to reflect on the question of, are you looking outside or are you looking inside? And how can we achieve some level of emptiness in order to welcome Torah, and in order to be more grounded and more happy with our place, or in order to develop the curiosity to find the right place for us. Shabbat Shalom. We will now take a moment to acknowledge people that are dealing with illness. We acknowledge essential workers that are risking their lives in order to sustain and serve our society. And I would say, once again, I just realized that yesterday, and another way to acknowledge that and to pray with our feet is that when you go to a grocery store, you wear a mask. And that's how you say that you care, and you are praying with your feet. We don't wear the masks to protect ourselves. We wear the masks as an expression of our covenant to our society, and as an expression of loving kindness and solidarity. So let's don't just pray, let's also wear our masks. And I know that there are distinctions. If you are walking in a path next to your house and there's no one there, like can you have you well, not in Orange County, you can walk without a mask in those places. But when you are going to be in interaction with people, you are going to be in a space in which there are other people, pray with your feet, and wear a mask. So we acknowledge essential workers and we pray for their health. We acknowledge people dealing with illness in their bodies and in their spirits. We acknowledge people dealing with addictions. And together we raise a prayer. We say Mishaberach on page 371. We wish to all of them refuah shlema ve'achlama meira, a complete and a fast recovery. And let us say,
Amen.
we now take a moment to acknowledge mourners among our community. If you are during the cycle of the first 7 days of mourning, please rise. And as we say rise, we mean rise on your spirit, on your legs. We invite you to rise physically or spiritually, whatever is within your ability. And we also encourage you to write the names of those that you are remembering on the comments so we can see them and the other members of the community can acknowledge them as well. As once again, if you are doing the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, please rise. If you are doing the first 30 days of mourning, Shloshim, please rise. If you are doing the first year, the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise. If you have a yortzeit this week, please rise. Now you can support our fellows while standing or sitting. Join us with your voices and your hearts for Mourners Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברי חילותה, בהמליך מלכותה, בחייכום ובמכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי אלמיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירם בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, בחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. May the memories of your dear ones be for a blessing. יהיה זכרם ברוך. You may be seated. So, as I said, this Wednesday we will have our congregational meeting, and you will be receiving an email on Saturday afternoon with some more details about our congregational meeting. But our hope is that that meeting is more than let's vote for the slate and the budget, which are very, very important things, but also a conversation, an invitation to renew our covenant with our congregation and with each other. So we would love for you to be there. We would love to see you. We'll have, I hope, a very nice Zoom gathering, a very special one. We will be introducing some new staff members. We will be acknowledging some simchas. I think that even though the meeting has a formal agenda, it is also one of the things that we will do, the celebration of our being community. Our congregational meeting is not just business, it's also our foundational gathering every year, so we encourage you to be there. Love for you to be there. And Thursday night we will be celebrating Shabbat in a county-wide celebration, and we will have a variety of rabbis teaching, and this rabbi will be teaching with his very good friend Rabbi Steve Einstein. So I encourage you to join us for all the sessions and also for ours. I can tell you that Rabbi Einstein and I were speaking this week about our session, and I was so excited. I was so, I enjoyed the conversation with him so much, and we will have a translation of that conversation into the session, so I think you will enjoy it as well. And on Friday we will be celebrating Shabbat, and we will be celebrating also Shavuot to some extent. So it's going to be a beautiful week and weekend. Please keep tuned with us, keep connecting with us. And now, yes, we will conclude our service on page 625 with Adon Olam.
Adon Olam Hashem Malach בטרם כל יציר נברא להינשא וחפצו כל עשה מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי כיחות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא ההווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני לעם שלו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוץ והמשרה
והוא אלי בחי בלי וצוחף לי בצרה והוא ניסי ומנוסי היי מנת כוסי ויום אקרא בידו אפיר רוחי ותשען בעינה ומוחי גביעתי היי אדוני לי לא
Let's extend that.
היי אדוני לי בלוהינה
Into your hands I entrust my spirit. When I sleep and when I wake, and with my spirit, my body also. Adonai is with me, and I shall not fear.
אלוהינה Shabbat Shalom everyone, good Shabbos. La 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 la.
Shabbos, Shabbos everyone, Shabbat